Hey guys, Mark here again, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of the best gimbals that you can possibly buy if you have a smaller camera. Let's jump in. This is the Zhiyun Crane V2. Zhiyun is a China-based company, hence the odd-sounding name, but make no mistake, this gimbal is extremely well built, despite the common stereotype that products made in China might be of a lower quality. In fact, once you open up the hard case that Zhiyun provides you, it strikes you with a very good first impression. Everything is neatly organized into sections. You've got your gimbal, the handle, the batteries, the charger, the lens support. There's even a spot for your micro USB cable, but I put my mini screwdriver in that spot. The gimbal itself is made almost entirely from a light metal. It feels very good in the hand and it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart anytime soon. To power up the gimbal, you first pop your batteries into the handle, then screw the handle into the base of the gimbal. That's pretty much it. Balancing is relatively easy and the steps to balance are clearly laid out in the owner's manual. There are 4 steps to adjusting the gimbal, and after some practice, it only takes me around 3 or 4 minutes to complete the setup. I like to use 2 lenses on this gimbal, the Sigma 18-35 1.8 and the Sony 16mm 2.8. The Sony is widely regarded as an awful lens overall, but when you put it on a gimbal, it's still pretty bad. But hey, at least it's wide and it's extremely light, which is why I like it. The Sigma 18-35 is on another level entirely. It's razor sharp, it has a great zoom range, and it's incredibly heavy. So heavy that you need to use the included lens support and a camera cage to actually balance the camera properly on the gimbal. After you get it properly balanced though, you can get some pretty stunning results. Here's some footage from the Sigma 18-35 1.8 on the gimbal. This was recently shot in an artist's living room as she was painting. The footage is buttery smooth, and although holding this thing for an extended period of time gets a little hard on the back, it's well worth it. By contrast, the Sony 16mm is a much lighter lens and it's much easier to walk around with it and even run with it. It's only sharp when stopped down to at least 5.6, but that's not a problem if you're shooting outdoors. The 16mm is still very wide on the crop sensor and the autofocus seems to be working fairly well. I'll give you some more gimbal shots later, but first we need to focus on how it functions. So after you balance the gimbal, you turn it on by holding this little button here for 4 seconds. It'll blink a few times and the gimbal will come to life and stabilize your camera. In its default state, it's set to pan following mode, but if you press the mode button, you can switch it to a locking mode or a following mode. I mainly just use the first one. In between the 2 buttons is a joystick that does different things depending on which mode you're in. In the mode that I normally use, it controls the tilt. I should also mention that the camera button here that functions as a power button can also be used to take a photo, and the slider below it will allow you to control the zoom of the lens if it's powered. There are a lot of adjustments that you can make to the gimbal. It has built-in Bluetooth so that you can actually connect it to your phone via the Zhiyun app and mess with all the settings. I've done some playing around and these are the results that work best for me. You can also control the gimbal via the app, which is pretty darn cool. The batteries in this thing last way longer than I expected. You can get up to 12 hours of use in the gimbal depending on how strong you set your motors. I've used the Crane V2 on 3 separate shoots and I still have battery left for at least 1 more. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the gimbal itself, so let's roll some more test footage. And that's about it for this review of the Zhiyun Crane V2. All in all, it's a very well built piece of camera tech that functions as intended. If you liked this video, please leave me a like and subscribe to show your support, and if you didn't, let me know why in a comment below. I love hearing your feedback. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.